Hey there, good morning to all of you out there. My name is Rabbit, and thank you so much for joining me for episode 150 of our post-game exploration of the bonus content here in Jade Cocoon 2. My friends, I am so excited to welcome you all to a brand new year. It is January 3rd of 2018 as I am sitting down to record, our third big chunk of videos where we're going to specifically be tackling Water Tour. One of the first things you might notice is that my voice is a little bit hoarse. I'm fighting somewhat of a cold just because, it is early January, so it's been between -10 and -15 degrees Fahrenheit out here in Wisconsin, so I'm freezing my ass off, not gonna lie, but that's okay. I personally don't mind the cold. However, my body is not really feeling it right now, hence my cold. So before we go ahead and dive into Water Tour, you guys already know the drill with how we have looked at the level 5 forests that we've explored so far. I want to show you the new amulets that I kind of have assembled, and then we're going to go back through the, pardon me friends as I clear my throat. We're going to go back through the earlier levels of the forest just so that we can unlock any cutscenes. You guys already know that Cure is one of my, if not my actual favorite character, or at least non-Kahu character or non-protagonist character. So I'm very much looking forward to kind of seeing what happened with her. We know she turned into a human. We got that spoiler when we were looking through the battle arena list. But we don't really know the details behind like how or why, so looking forward to uncovering that. All right, step 1. Actually, let me do it through the formation first so you guys can see sort of the spells in their entirety. I composed this group back when we last recorded, I guess it was like 2, maybe 3 months ago, our last batch of episodes. So I honestly don't have any notes anywhere, so I can't entirely recall like what I had planned or if it was really my motivation was just to get some new faces out here, get some new spells out here. So either way, that is what my wind side is looking like, or my air side. Here's the water side. I know we've got some basic as fuck level spells or grade spells, the B's and the A's, no S ranks right now, but I think that this is going to be okay. We are going in the water forest, so I'm not expecting us to run into too much trouble in regards to how much damage we'll be receiving. Here is the earth side, which I feel like we've seen all of these other spells. Sapiate on my air side is pretty new, and we haven't used Lamina that much. And then here is my fire side. Also nothing too spectacular. Oh my god, I did not actually mean to set this side up. I'm going to, yeah, wind side is the way I really want to go. And then as for stats, don't mind me, you guys. Can you tell I'm a little rusty? It's been a minute since I have played this for you. So here are stats. Again, I just want you to be able to see abilities, and then we'll look at the raw numbers as we rotate through. So I think if you look up at the evolution bar, I'm sure one of my motivators was to get some new faces out here that we can hopefully have transform all the way and unlock some final form. So I think that must have been one of the things that I had going through my mind when I composed this team. So here are the abilities for Fizzy. It's been a while since we've seen him, but welcome back. Never too late to have a familiar face join the group. Or I should say rejoin the group. We have used Fizzy before. We've got Emil here, raw numbers, and then here we have the actual abilities as well as the skills, but you already saw that, so moving right along. Focus on the abilities Nemo has, and yeah, looking back through this, I think the evolutionary bar is capped for everybody, so I'm thinking that's actually what I was doing. I was trying to be creative and see how many new final forms can I unlock while simultaneously having a functional team. And I guess this was the best I came up with. Whether or not it's going to be successful, we'll find out, because I certainly don't test out these teams prior to bringing you guys back. What I typically do is following our batch of recording, or our batch of episodes that are created through my recording sessions, I spend maybe an hour afterwards doing some merging, thinking about what I want our team to look like, and then I hang this coat up and don't revisit it for 3 to 4 months. So that's pretty much how it's been and how it'll probably continue to go. I don't know, if I so feel compelled, maybe I'll try to knock out the level 5 fire wait, is it the fire one? No, we did the fire one last time. I think our last one is the earth forest. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen the level 5 shenanigans involving the Sweet Knight, so that's what awaits us. And Merrick here. We've seen him for a while, so I won't dawdle too much. All right, friends, that should be it. We saw extra, yeah? If not, here you go again. I was too busy talking and trying to get you caught up to speed. So there we go. There's our intro. There's how everybody's looking, who we've got, what they've got going on, and where I'm kind of at with all of this. As usual, you guys already know I have a lot of stories to share with you. Some exciting, some not so exciting. But we will kickstart everything after we plop ourselves down in Water Visit. Running back through some of these early forests shouldn't be too big of a deal. Again, just to remind you, since it has been several months for those of you who are watching in real time and not just tuning in one fell swoop many years following the release of all the episodes, kind of how this will look is I will bring you through most of these sections with me, but then once we reach a certain point, so maybe we'll have 2 episodes of this, so we'll finish up this episode going through and then maybe part of the next episode, and if there's still an island left to explore, I'll just do it without you, and if there are any special cutscenes, I always will recap, or depending on what the cutscene entailed, I'll actually show it to you, but sometimes they're not that important.
What a gaudy woman. Hey, Kahoo, what are you looking at?
Cure? You're Cure, right? Huh? What? Young man, have we met somewhere? Hi, you're alive! I'm so glad. What a relief. What an odd boy. What do you mean? Yes, I'm alive. See? Hey, young man, have we met somewhere?
She does look a little like her, but is she human?
But I'm sure she is Cure. I somehow know it.
Whatever the case, how can such a coincidence happen?
Hey, young man, this girl here, could she be a fairy?
Hi, I'm sorry, but you happen to look a lot like our friend. We don't mean any harm.
Wow, incredible! It talks. Hey, young man, will you sell it? Sorry. Nico here is my friend. Aw, how nice. A friend. I want one. But our meeting here has got to be our fate. Pleased to meet you. My name is Cure. I knew it. I'm Kahu, and this is Nico. Pleased to meet you. Huh? Kahu, you're an odd one. Well, see ya. Bye-bye.
So, Cure is a human, but she doesn't remember her life when she was not a human? I mean, it makes sense to me that maybe if she underwent some sort of transformation, of course she wouldn't have full recollection of everything in her previous life, but how would she know her name was still Cure? Why would she be an adult? Why wouldn't she have been reborn as a child or something? I don't know. I think that's a little bit of a stretch and kind of odd, but whatever. I get where they're going with this, and now Cure will finally have a true friend, and she's human, so all of her dreams came true, and everybody wins.
Hey, don't you know me? Don't you remember?
Oh, hi. Unfortunately, no.
She acts like a stranger. Did she lose her memory?
Then why are we the only ones who remember her?
Who knows? No one knows what Elrum is thinking.
Hey, give me a hint. Maybe I'll remember.
Okay, making it big?
How is that a hint, Nico? Not even close.
Oh, sorry. I don't remember at all.
Well, I'm just glad she's okay. I think that's an odd way for them to have spun that. I think I would have preferred if they were going to go with the whole she forgot about her past life and doesn't remember anything, yet she was reborn as a human, like I guess the human equivalent of what she was before. So age is about the same, appearance is pretty much the same, voice is even the same. Her vocabulary is just expanded and she can communicate in English now. I think what they should have maybe done instead was have there be a way to help her unlock her memories, or maybe she would even be questioning, like, who was I? How did I get here? What's going on? She doesn't seem baffled by anything or distraught in any way. Not that necessarily she needs to feel distress, but I think it's unrealistic that you'd be reborn with no memories as pretty much an adult or young adult, and you're totally fine with the fact that you don't know what's going on or who anybody is or anything about your past. Like, I don't think she'd be as nonchalant about it, but, you know, I don't know why I expect there to be too much development from this game anymore. I guess we should just take it for what it is, right? Oh, I actually don't need anything, and I don't think I even... Yeah, I don't have anything to stash. So, anyway, as for stories, friends, I've got to open you up with the freshest one of 2018. You guys already know, for some reason, I have a crazy magnet, and in spite of how hard I try just to stay away from people and for people to leave me alone, there's always some asshole who's gonna ruin your day, right? So the fresh story of 2018, and granted, it's only the third, so hold on. We're gonna put that on pause and see what this, shitty pretty stone. We're not gonna be doing much with that, let me tell you right now. So, story for the year, because this is like the first semi-major thing, I guess, that's really occurred. Already having some issues with an insane upstairs neighbor. You guys have heard throughout many of my recording sessions that my upstairs neighbor is fucking loud. Like, apparently she's this, I don't know if she's a student or what her deal is, but she is an international student. She's from Spain, but apparently she's a hothead and like super crazy. I've never met her personally, but I kind of deduced that she was nuts just from how loud she is, how often she's screaming or throwing things or slamming shit on the ground. But whatever. I'm so chill that if it's not something that is disturbing me to the point where I can't ignore it, then I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to create a fuss. That's just really not me. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my energy. I just don't mind it too much. So on the, oh gosh, I don't remember what day it was. So today is Wednesday, and I think this was last Friday. So whatever day that was, like the 29th, was it? Maybe? Andrew has been out of town for Christmas and New Year's. He's been gone for about 2 weeks. He will, when he returns, have been gone for a total. Is this guy really trying to fight me? I guess, you know, we've avoided fights for this long, right? Andrew will have been gone for a total of 2.5 weeks, I believe. He ended up staying a little bit longer just to take care of some things, which doesn't even matter. Totally irrelevant. But just to kind of, I guess, paint the picture that for the last 2.5 weeks, it's been just me and all of our animals. My apartment is so quiet. Like, I don't have people over. I've never had a guest over at my apartment in the 1.5 years that we've been living here. We've never had anyone complain about us making noise because we're just not loud. Like, we don't party. We're just not those kinds of people. I also, which some people may not know about me, I have somewhat of an audio sensory, I wouldn't say it's a disorder so much as it's just a thing I have where I'm very, wow, I cannot believe these two. I'm very sensitive to extremely loud noises, which is why for the most part I avoid things like concerts or, I don't know, any large, loud gathering or group. So even something like church, like there's a reason why I personally don't enjoy a lot of contemporary churches. I just think they treat them like rock concerts and they're loud and they're like showboaty, and it's not only does it kind of annoy me sometimes, but they're just too loud for me and it makes me sick. I've never actually had a seizure as a result of the extraordinarily loud noise, but I have gotten sick to where I've been, you know, like physically ill, like vomiting. I've gotten migraines from it, which make me unwell for sometimes up to 2 days. It just really rocks my core and it raises my blood pressure, which exacerbates other things. So it's not like an issue that I run into that much because I'm naturally a quiet person anyway, so I don't put myself in the position to be surrounded by loud people or loud things. So, like, I was never in band or orchestra. Yeah, I did theater, but, you know, that wasn't as big of a deal as I think band would be probably not a good choice for me. Let me just say, like, the drums would probably wreck me, and I don't know, maybe like tubas or trumpets, they would just fuck me up. Not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know if I have an AUG. Is this, Emil, you are not an AUG. So why do I have these? So I did have shit I could stash. Guess I'm a lying sack of shit. Who knew? That's what I get for not looking at my inventory. Oh, that reminds me, you guys. I actually feel a little stupid because we have... Hold on, this is a total side note, and then I'll finish my intro and tell you the story. Okay, we do have a contract. We need to find Storm's song, but it's not going to be available to us until we get to Water Tour. But I just wanted to remind you. Just thought about that as I was picking shit up, that we need to be looking out for some trinkets once we get to that level 5 water forest. Please don't make me fight you. Are you really doing this? So... yeah, anyway, so I was in theater, but it was never anything that really rocked my world because the occasional musical would be sort of noisy, but it wasn't anything like if I went to a huge concert or something. I've just always done a really good job, I think, of staying out of those situations because they used to make me really sick when I was little, and if I ever went to any events with friends or family or things of that nature. So, I'm saying all this just to kind of paint a picture for you of who I am, where I'm coming from, although I think most of you sort of know what to expect from me by this point. I'm just not that loud, and I'm not that wild, and I'm not that crazy, and no one's ever had a problem with me in the past. But, of course, randomly, on Friday, I got a call from Andrew, and he basically was like, hey, our property manager randomly called me, and instead of me for some reason, like Rabbit, they called Andrew, even though he's been out of town. Don't understand why. Maybe they just, like, picked the first name in our list. I don't know. She knows both of us, though, personally. Like, we've talked to her before. She's even driven us to a bus stop. So it's not like she's unfamiliar with who we are or our dynamic. So for whatever reason, the choice was made to contact Andrew instead of me. And basically, there was a noise complaint about our apartment. No specifics were provided at all, just that we were too loud. And then she, I guess, was asking Andrew what I think are incriminating questions. Like, so instead of actually providing us with the reason for our noise citation, she was trying to ask him general questions in a way, I think, to get him to confess to something that he didn't do. And they were irrelevant questions, in my opinion. So, like, he called me because he was like, you know, I don't know how to handle this. I'm not even there. So I just wanted to let you know I am okay to take care of it when I get back, but I don't really know what to even say. Like, Andrew's so passive and he's such a people pleaser that I think for him, he very much, like most people, is just of the mindset where it's like, you know, if it's not that big of a deal, I'm just going to let it go. It's not like it's going to hurt us or anything because, like, it's the first complaint we've ever had in a year and a half. But you guys already know me. I'm a little bit crazy in that I hate being blamed for something that I did not do and that I am not responsible for. And I especially don't like it if there's no information actually being provided. That feels unfair, and I refuse to confess to a crime, if I can use that term as a bit of an exaggeration, that I did not commit. So, naturally, I was upset, and I wrote a very detailed email to the property manager. It wasn't rude or disrespectful. I would feel comfortable posting this email online because I feel like it was about 4 paragraphs, very specific about why I was frustrated, and me essentially just demanding that she follow up, and also pointing out that it makes no sense for our loudest neighbors to be the ones accusing us of anything. And I was like, I can even provide like audio footage where she has slammed things on her floor, which is our ceiling, where she's crazy. So if anyone should be reporting anyone for a noise complaint, it should be us reporting her. So I think, like, if you're just going to casually slap a noise citation on our apartment, you need to provide us with some information, and or you need to ask us detailed questions before you just consider us guilty. So I sent that email. And I knew, like, since it's a holiday, I probably wasn't going to hear from her, but I knew she was checking it and she saw it, or she would have at least seen it by Monday. But I decided to do my own investigating. So I went to my neighbor next door. I went to the one across the hall, and I asked, like, all of them, like, hey, have you heard anything from our apartment in the last month? So even going back beyond the scope of when Andrew's been absent, because I know 100% for a fact no one's heard anything while I've been here. I don't make any noise. I record, but it's in a room that's pretty soundproof. And, like, yeah, if you stand by my front door and put your ear to the door, you might be able to hear me if I'm on the phone or hear, like, the birds singing. But you're not going to hear me, like the specifics of my conversation, or you're not going to hear every lyric of a song that's playing on my radio or on my computer.
Yo, Kahu, you're looking happy.
Huh? Is someone waiting? You rascal, you. Rendezvous for a date?
No, not at all. I was waiting here for Kahu. Huh? For me? Master says that you have to take on any job to be a full-fledged beast hunter. So, when I went to the bulletin board, I saw a job saying, defeat Kahu. So you went and took it? You're terrible. Sorry, guy. I thought it was interesting. Don't think bad of me.
Wait, so we're fighting Nam in the water forest? I was not expecting this, you guys.
Get medieval.
Hey, you have a pretty good formation.
Ah, thanks, Nam. I love the new Nam, you guys. He's amazing. I don't know why they didn't introduce him sooner than the post game. Anyway, we will go ahead and just end this here because this fight could only take like 2 to 5 minutes, but it's possible it might be 10 minutes, and I don't want to run that risk. So we'll finish my story in our upcoming episode. All I guess you really need to know as a recap so far is that we received a very general blanket noise citation from a property manager who didn't want to do her job and wanted to do whatever was easiest and was going to pacify both parties. So basically, she wanted to pacify the insane bitch upstairs, and then she was hoping by speaking to Andrew, because he tends to be a little chill and will just like write things off because it's not worth his time either, that we would just take it and be like, whatever, not a big deal, who cares, because that's how most people are. But I'll tell you what I decided to do, how I decided to challenge her, and ultimately, she did end up apologizing, but I still have lost a lot of respect for her as the property manager, as someone that I know kind of as a pseudo friend because we have talked before, and then just sort of what has unfolded, because I'm still super annoyed by this, and I definitely will not be renewing my lease here as a result of everything that transpired. So I'm looking forward to sharing more of those details with you in our upcoming episode number 151 when we take on Nam. So thanks as always for joining me, your host Rabbits, for our post-game exploration of Jade Cocoon 2's bonus content. See you soon, my friends.